Gene Young is well known around Fruitport. An administrator from 1970 to 1995, Gene stands tall as one of the most influential people in the history of Fruitport Community Schools. In 25 years as an administrator, he impacted and led programs in community education, adult education, alternative education, summer recreation, and interim athletic director. He has served on numerous community organizations as CEO, consultant, board member, and director. He's been president of the Muskegon Area Hall of Fame since 1994. One of his biggest challenges came in 1978 when he took on the restoration of the high school athletic program, which had been shut down earlier that year due to lack of finances. Please welcome Gene Young. Video first, sorry, Gene.
Very few people know how much Gene has contributed and given to the Fruitport Community Schools and over a long period of time, some 40 plus years. And one of the reasons we're doing this is so that we can say, Gene, thank you, and we can celebrate the accomplishments. Everything from community education director to youth sports and all the things involving alternative education. Gene has had an impact and an influence for years and a positive changes that have taken place in Fruitport.
You remember when the powers that be actually canceled all sports in Fruitport in '78? Well, they asked you to rectify that problem, and you sure came through in flying colors.
It took about 3 weeks, night and day, 7 days a week. I can't recommend it for a diet program because there wasn't even time to eat and sleep, but I was very proud, very, very proud that these kids could be back involved in co-curricular activities.
Not only is he incomparable president of the Muskegon Area Sports Hall of Fame, but also in broadcasting. You still have that great talent of not only asking your interviewers questions, but also you're able to answer them.
Gene was most proud of the youth programs here at Fruitport Community Schools. He informed me when I started working at Fruitport Community Ed that I had never experienced the enthusiasm of the first spring enrollment period for the summer camps at Fruitport. Lo and behold, on day of pre-enrollment, there would be a line all the way out of the hallway, out into the parking lot of parents waiting to sign their children up for the dynamic camps here at Fruitport Community Schools. Community Ed was pretty much
6 days a week and days and nights, and Gene worked some of the nights and I worked some of the nights. So, there was a lot of time involved, and Gene went above that. I know Sunday afternoons, there were usually guys playing basketball in this gym.
I lived across the street. I opened this place 7 days a week. We had Sunday basketball. Eventually, I couldn't play anymore. I mean, my body said you can't play. And I would still open it, run some errands, but Ross Pope would always buy a Sunday paper, and he'd read it, and then he'd leave it on the bleacher. Well, I went over and I would get it, kind of read it, and then when I locked up and they were out, I'd take it home and have me a free Sunday paper. That's all I got out of it, about a 50-cent paper. I was on the Parks Board, and we did a lot of good things. I got a grant writer, Department of Natural Resources, and I got the youth clubs, Beach and Fruitport Township, government, and the school that all put money in to get our match, and we spent $270,000 in that beach park. You realize that would be easy $500,600,000 today. And we had a dedication, and everybody was there, and everybody felt a part of it,
Gene hired good people. When I think back of some of the people that he's hired, Pat Westcott comes to mind as he hired him in the summer youth employment program, and he's a teacher in Fruitport Schools, been there for a lot of years. He hired Ken Arney. He hired Pat Wallstra. Those are people, very quality people.
Our alternative ed program is still running and strong, and their attendance and attitude is incredible. Hired a guy named Paul Guzman, who's still there, best teacher in the world. And boy, we took a lot of adults to earn regular high school diplomas. we decided to choose. The graduate may select the individual they want to receive their diploma from, and to sit there and watch an 8-year-old son walk over and hand the diploma to their mother, or watch a teenage daughter that has had a little problem communicating with her dad, handing the diploma and a hug to dad, it brings tears to your eyes.
He was a man of passion. He was very passionate about his alternative ed. He was very passionate about summer recreation and quality programs, the whole project, whatever it was. But besides being passionate, he took action. So I think it's one thing to love something, what you're doing, but he was taking action on things.
You know, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the successful bond issue. That was a proud night when the finals were mentioned, the final vote tally. Emotional, very, very big deal. And I'm so proud to be just a small part of it on that committee.
Just a very faithful person that wanted to see Fruitport be successful, wanted to see Fruitport in the news and the positive things about Fruitport schools. He always said that Fruitport was the best kept secret in town, and probably is.
We've had so many great memories over the years, Gene, especially that magical year in 2001 when Fruitport went all the way to the state championship. Those were great memories. Congratulations on your great induction into the Hall of Fame here tonight. We'll see you soon, but not until it warms up a little bit up in Michigan.
Gene, on behalf of Fruitport Community Schools and the community education arena here in Muskegon County and Michigan, thank you for all you've done for parents and children in our communities. I personally thank you for being a mentor, and I look forward to many more lunches with you.
Gene, I want to say thank you for giving me that confidence, for believing in me, and this is well deserved because you're usually the one who has other people be honored, and we definitely want to, as a community, as an athletic department, as a Hall of Fame committee, want to say thank you, and you deserve the honor. And what's going on in Fruitport now in a positive way is because of your important influence over 40 years. So thank you, and we'll never forget you.
Amen to that. Please help me welcome Gene Young.
That's about it. I learned a lot about myself. I'm honored. Kent, a tremendous evening. I'm very emotional and so excited to hear people say you did a good job. I think I got many more years. I'm on the YES committee. We're continuing on the Fruitport Educational Foundation. So I'm still active, back living in Fruitport. And I look over to the 5 tables of people that came. Thank you very much. I did count the first 3 people. There's 275 here, and 117 were introduced. So if I introduce the rest of you, everybody will go home being introduced. Let me start. I do want to say that it was said in the film strip, but I got to talk about the bond issue. Crazy board going on the national election, can't believe it. 3.9 mils, going to raise $51 million, not in Fruitport. And things have been tough in Fruitport. They put a committee together. A guy by the name of J.B. Muhlenberg. Young fellow, lives on Pownell Road, teaches at the college, has a kindergartner. And many people that are sitting in here, they worked for over 2 years, met Sunday nights. Guess where our meeting place was most of the time? Pope's Pub. We met at 8 o'clock on the Sundays, so everything would be clear. I can't tell you how professional the leadership and these people in Fruitport were. They passed that with over 9,000 votes by 121 votes. And so professional. The group is staying together, and I will tell you, it would take 2 years. but Fruitport High School will be one of the finest high schools in Western Michigan. The second thing is, Fruitport, the high school and beach just received state awards for academic gains. That there were very few school districts in the state of Michigan had 2 schools with that award. So academically, we're growing. We're going to have a tremendous facility. And lastly, what I want to do, I know Dave Hazekamp tried to change planes to get here from Florida. He didn't make it. And our superintendent, Bob, is home towards Achilles. He's going to take 12 weeks to, and he sent me an email and said, I can't be here. I'm having a hard time walking. But there are committee people that were honored by the Board of Education, and I'd like them to stand up right now. And you see people that worked night and day. We raised $16,000. This wasn't one of these send a flyer home with kids. This was newspapers and advertisement and door knocking. Hundreds and hundreds of people were involved, but the ones that stayed together as a committee, I'd like you to stand now. I know there's a half a dozen or more. Would you please stand? My family, I better introduce the lady that made that beautiful poster board out there trying to capture my career, my wife Sandy. Just raise your hand. 3 of my 4 children are here. Kelly, Brandon, and Kelly Joe. My son Darren is having his 2nd child within 13 months, and he's pretty busy right now outside of Detroit. Oh, he is here? Okay. He's on the cell phone. What do we do with him? You know how techie I am. Well, you know what I could do? I could introduce my 5 tables, but I don't know where to stop and where to start. So I guess I should be quiet. And the 2 people that I need to introduce is our office was very busy, and over the years we had several secretaries, and 2 of them are here tonight, Carol Hackney and Trish Winskus. Would you please stand? I better complete my family with my brother Bill, my brother Paul, and Mary, and Nancy. Would you please just wave? That's it, folks. Thank you very much. The 25 minutes I was going to take, I waved 20 of that to Al Shaw.
You did fantastic. Congratulations. Take it to the table. You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine.